At the end of my mission, I was serving in an area called Palaker, and I was teaching a couple of girls. They were twins. Their names were Twina and Twina. Twine and Twina. You had to be very careful saying their names, Twina and Twina. So they really wanted to get baptized, and their dad was not happy with the fact they wanted to get baptized. Not happy at all. But there was one time when we were on splits with some members, so I didn't have my regular companion with me. And we had finished kind of the lessons we were going to do. We were going to meet back up with him and the member he had gone with, and we were going to exchange back and go to a different place. Well, we went to the spot where they were supposed to be. They weren't there. So we went up to a trail to a house of, well, the hut of the member who was with him, and they weren't there. So I got the impression to go up and visit these twins and their family. Their dad wasn't usually at the house. But that was in the complete opposite direction where we were supposed to be. And we were supposed to visit them even a few hours later in the evening. So we were going to be quite a bit early. But we just headed up the trail and went and talked to them. And the dad was there, and the girls were there, and I just got this overwhelming impression that this was the time when I was supposed to ask him to give permission for his daughters. Previously, he'd been very abstinent, that he would absolutely not let them be baptized. So I went in with the hut and talked to the dad, and he had had a couple of drinks, so he was a little bit, the happy, sad, bipolar, angry, giggly thing that alcohol does to you. But I started talking to him and started having some fun with him, and just little by little, we started coming to the topic of the gospel. And it was almost like walking through a minefield in some ways, just because if you said the wrong thing the wrong way, or even if you said the right thing the wrong way, then he'd get really mad and like, okay, get out of my house, I don't want you here anymore. And you had to spin it just the right way so that it would keep opening his heart a little bit more and a little bit more to the gospel. And I was there for 2 hours talking with this guy. I had this member next to me, and it got to a point, he had some concerns. The member that was with me was able to address these concerns. It was a beautiful moment. But those 2 hours of trying to bring the Spirit into this man's home and this man's heart so that he would allow his children to be baptized was probably one of the most intense experiences. I walked out of there just shaking because the Spirit had just led me like right through a minefield, is literally how it felt. And at the end, then he called his daughters in. He's like, all right, fine, I want to know, do you guys want to be baptized? And both of them were incredibly shy. I had hardly heard them say a thing to their father before, but both of them, almost at the same time, said, yes, we want to be baptized. And he looked at them, and he looked at me, and with just kind of a reluctant, like, fine, you get it, then he's like, all right, just because it's their birthday. Turns out it was their birthday that day that we had gone to visit them, and he let them be baptized. And I said, all right, well, we need to do the interview, need to do this, so how about next week? And he's like, nope, you better do it tomorrow, because by the day after tomorrow, I'm going to have changed my mind. So we pulled some strings, and we got the interview, and we got them baptized the next day. And that was a very special experience, but probably the most intense experience of my mission right there.